I don't want to work anymore because I'm literally just working at a job that does not interest me and does not fulfill me, but I have to work at this job because otherwise I can't afford my rent and I can't afford my bills and I can't afford any food. And it just feels like this constant loop because I spend most of my days in a job that I don't want to be at, but I have to be at, and then when I'm not at this job, I'm too tired and drained to do anything but nothing. So I don't even advance in my life.
Okay, princess, that's it. The fairy tale is over. Welcome to real life.
I hate to break it to you, sister, but your job is the only thing that's keeping you going. Let me explain. You see, before your hive-minded brood of emotionally charged zealots demanded equal societal treatment in the form of taxable employment, women found purpose and contentment in the home through marriage and children. They would try to find as best of a man they could to take care of them, and they, in turn, would take care of the man, the home, and the children. There was a nice little balance to everything. It wasn't perfect, but it worked just fine. But now, thanks to your foolishness, you have no man, no children, and no real home. All you have left is your soul-crushing job and the perpetual hamster wheel known as living paycheck to paycheck. Forget about what makes you happy. That prospect waved bye-bye to you about 10 boyfriends and 12 years ago. This is the absolute best that you can possibly get at this point. You fought for this moment over the last couple of centuries, so you and your kind should be happy. You got everything you ever possibly wanted.
You're welcome. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, don't mention it. Use that freedom in any way you like.
And people say, like, get another job or whatever, but I don't want another job. I don't want to keep working for other people for the rest of my life. Like, I want to fulfill my dreams. I want to do what makes me happy. I don't want to keep fulfilling someone else's dream and making their business successful. Like, I want to make my business successful. I don't even have a business, but I would if I wasn't broke. It's just so shit that we all have to keep doing stuff that we don't even want to do just for the sake of survival. This is probably why we're all so unhappy. Anyway. Rant over.
Wow, that's fantastic work, man. You have the wisdom of a 6,000 or 7,000 year old man. That's fantastic. We don't have to fill up the whole blackboard after all.
So you want your own business because owning a business would make you happy, but you won't start a business because you're broke. Yeah, that's a load. You could easily start up some kind of a business. You're not trying to invent a phone with a retractable cheese grater here. You could easily do something small and build it from there. But you'll never do that, and that's because you don't have any ideas, and your dreams involve either unicorns or falling down a bottomless pit while hearing an endless loop of off-key Taylor Swift cover songs. You thought you would find fulfillment in life with a career and living on your own because that's what you saw on TV shows and movies. Instagram stories convinced you that if you accumulated enough material stuff, that you would be happy as well. But now you're getting hit with the harsh reality known as the rat race. We've all been there, we've all done it, and we all admit that it sucks. But for those of us who don't like it, we are making attempts to claw our way out of it. It requires effort, something that you lack. You'd rather just complain about how tired you are, and that's fine. That's your choice. Just don't be surprised where it gets you at the end.
Nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere.
Part 3 of my neighbor crush. Guys, this might be the final one. We went on a date this weekend and it went really well. He has qualities about him that I find so hard to find in a lot of men nowadays. Like, struggle to find an emotionally intelligent man, open and honest, actually ask questions on dates. We had a really great conversation. He was super respectful. Here's the issue. The amount of times that this man has said, this is super dangerous, this is super dangerous. What if things go wrong? Like, I get he's probably overthinking it. Things could go wrong, but also we're adults. You can date whoever you want to. At the end of the day, if things go wrong, then we'll be cordial.
Wrong! There was only one adult in the room, lady, and let me tell you something, it sure as hell wasn't you. Your neighbor was making it abundantly clear that getting into any form of a relationship with you was a bad idea, and like a child, you plugged your ears and started humming the theme to the Mulan remake, which is a cultural appropriation, by the way, you should be ashamed of yourself, and refused to listen. That's not something an adult does. He had legitimate concerns about taking you seriously because you're a female TikToker. You air out your dirty laundry on TikTok for everyone to see. And if he gets into a relationship with you, you're going to automatically assume that you have permission to drag him into whatever garbage you post on social media, violating his privacy and personal boundaries in the process. And if things don't work out, you're neighbors. That means you know where he lives and he's close by. And we all know that modern single women aren't exactly the most emotionally stable of people out there. There's no chance that you'll be able to keep things cordial because you can't fathom living in a world the object of desire for every single man on the planet.
I haven't heard from him since our date this weekend. It is what it is. Honestly, if it's meant to be, it's gonna be. If not, then I'm not really worried about it. Here's the thing. I feel like we live in such a society where there are endless avoidant singles out there, and people claim how important communication is, but then they're the first people to ghost. I'm not even joking. The amount of times that I've gotten ghosted in the past maybe month or two by grown men in their late 30s, I can't do it anymore. But here's the thing. I think in my past, I would have taken things very personally, like, oh my God, something must be wrong with me. Maybe I said something, maybe I did something. I didn't do anything.
Cheapers creepers, woman. It is you. It's always been you. The reason why men ghost you isn't a sign of their immaturity. It's the precedent that you set back in your 20s. One look at you and we can tell that you ghosted at least a dozen guys between your 20th and your 21st birthday. That is a conservative estimate, by the way. And men get ghosted for all sorts of reasons, and when it happens, you immediately blame the men for not meeting the woman's standards. But when you get ghosted regularly by men, you immediately blame the men for not being emotionally mature for their age. But if anything, ghosting you is the most mature thing they could possibly do. It's quick, painless for them, and an efficient use of words and time to convey a very simple message. You are a colossal train wreck of a woman who has nothing to offer except drama, headaches, and chaos. And though they could take the time to explain this to you with coloring books and crayons, they already know that you'll fly off the handle. After all, you're a child stuck in a woman's body. You don't know any other way. So instead of risking social media stalking or threats of damage to their personal property, they just decided it's easier to play the game by your rules. And one of those rules is, all is fair in love and ghosting.
You have to understand how scary feelings are in this generation for people. There are so many things that could have happened. They could have got back together with their ex. They could have put themselves out there and then realized, hey, I'm not ready to date. I'm not ready to put myself back out there. And instead of having an adult conversation with you, they just ghost, which, by the way, maybe they did you a favor. They showed their true colors that they're not able to communicate anyway. And do you really want to be with someone who doesn't know how to communicate with you? Because I don't. There are so many different reasons why that person could have ghosted you and that have absolutely nothing to do with you, so do not take it personally.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
Woman, your neighbor clearly communicated why he didn't want to date you. You just refused to listen. Self-respecting men aren't afraid of their feelings. In fact, we have to be comfortable with them, because if we aren't comfortable with them, we can't get stuff done, and we have too much to do to let our feelings get in the way of lifelong progress. You're the one who's incapable of feeling anything. You live in this little bubble where you assume it's the world's job to make you happy, to fix your problems, and to make your life good. And you refuse to take any responsibility for your life decisions, and then turn around and blame everyone else except yourself when those consequences rear their ugly heads. You don't want men to communicate that they're done with you. You'll react the same way regardless. You just want to have the last laugh, and a man who ghosts you has robbed you of that opportunity, and you can't stand it. It's the new norm for 21st century dating. Whoever ghosts first laughs the loudest. And it sounds to me like the men who ghosted you first are laughing pretty loud right about now.
That's funny because it's so true.
If you had 69 hours with me and I couldn't say no, what would we do? What would we do?
That's why I praise the Lord for prostitutes.
Oh, I know what you can do. In fact, I've been thinking about it for such a long time, and you are gonna love this. So here's what. You have 69 hours to secure me a 55-gallon oil drum filled to the brim with gold coins. Now, I can't really help you obtain this gold because I got too many things to do. I've got about 69 hours worth of video games to catch up on, and I really need to get my laundry done. I'm not about to ask you to help because I really don't have the money to completely replace the wardrobe that you're going to ruin, and some of those shirts are extremely sentimental and have more personal value to me than you ever possibly could. And I can't trust you with a handful of washers, let alone an entire washing machine. So don't worry about me. I got the laundry covered. I'm just gonna hang out and play a nice long run of Coldeka and keep myself away from you and your infections. You should probably go get going. You have about 68 hours, 59 minutes, and 30-ish seconds to get me my gold. So, chop chop. Inflation ain't gonna get any better, sweetheart, and you're not getting any younger, but don't worry about that, Toots. You're gonna find that one out the hard way.
Amen.
What does partnership in a marriage or romantic relationship actually look like? Is it equal partners where that means an even split on everything? Finances, duties, obligations, chores. The videos I did on going 50-50 in a marriage or relationship got a lot of feedback. You know, a lot of men saying things like, we're equal partners and that means we split everything 50-50. We do a fair share of lifting. Neither one is there to cater to the other person. I'm not paying for my partner and she's not there to serve me.
You don't know what words mean, do you?
Oh, Gertrude, you crusty sack of human failure. I'm gonna level with you. Equal partnerships are just a buzz phrase that bitter women like you use as an excuse to openly disrespect husbands, deny them intimacy, while also leeching off them for resources. I know this because you have done endless rants about how a woman should never have to go 50-50 financially with a man, and I think it's kind of pathetic that I have to explain this one to you, Gertrude, but 50-50 is literally the definition of equal. And modern housewives have demanded that men do more in the household while expecting less in return, and you've advocated for that because in your eyes, men are supposed to be the providers while women consume what the men provide and give nothing else. Gertie, you've been advocating for this kind of behavior as a majority of your content wouldn't exist if you weren't bashing men for not doing enough. We're not giving you feedback, honey. We're merely pointing out your hypocrisy. And much like your Botox injections, you've got that in spades.
If you're not taking care of each other, then you're marrying or shacking up purely for utility. And what's the fucking point of being in a relationship? You're taking better care of your pets. I mean, has our focus on division of labor, equality, and partnership in relationship become so narrowed that we've lost the concept of love and care in modern relationships?
What?
Let me explain something to you, Gertrude. The dynamic of modern relationships has shifted so dramatically that it's no longer about caring for another human being. Modern women are barely capable of caring for themselves, let alone another person. When it comes to marriage, modern women look at the men and ask the question, what's in it for me? What can this man do for me? What will this man let me get away with? The modern woman wants money, food, and shelter, but won't provide anything in return. Not love, not warmth, not even the occasional home-cooked meal. Every single thing she could do must be earned by the man, who must go out of his way just to get a half-hearted thank you for taking out the garbage. So when 80% of these divorces are initiated by women, they do it under the guise that the man wasn't making them happy. Even though they rigged the game so that no matter what the husband did, he was always going to be wrong and always be the source of all of her misery. And these are behaviors that you condone and even celebrate, Gertrude. So it's no wonder why we're in this mess.
No wonder the infidelity rate is so high for men and women. No wonder the divorce rate is 56%. Some men are marrying women for utility, not because they actually love them. And women feel it when that happens. If you're looking at your partner, this goes for men or women, and not trying to make their lives better, trying to make their lives easier, you don't love them. You're slogging through life alongside them. So just be alone and slog on your own terms.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
Well, there you have it, Gertrude. How is it that a woman can be the one who determines the terms of the equal partnership, demands that the man pays for everything, and then puts that man through hell and back, and yet it is still the man who is marrying the woman for utility? How do you figure that? What kind of utility is that man getting? His wife doesn't respect him, she won't cook or clean without complaining, and she demands that he does more and more and chews him out for doing it the wrong way. This is a woman who at best dislikes her husband and at worst straight up hates him. And yet it's the man who's using her. For what exactly? Well, I'll tell you what. A child that she'll weaponize against him, and some emotionless bedroom fun once every 18 months, and that's if he's lucky. We should know. You're the one who initiated the divorce in your marriage, Gertrude, so you know just about as much as men as you do about how to make a marriage work. Don't go blaming us for your failures, Gertrude. It's not our fault that you wanted to become a worthless, bitter old crone. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and leave a couple of comments and share this video so we could give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. And never forget, when you think about it, all mud is just wet dirt. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.